The duck-billed dinosaur family that Parasaurolophus is a member of is scientifically referred to as Hadrosauridae, the main family that resides in the aptly named Hadrosauroidea clade, named after the dinosaur Hadrosaurus. Hadrosauroidea was a widely diverse ornithischian superfamily that contains many different genera, and species that came in many different shapes and sizes. When the group was first described, their duck-like snouts and beaks were what earned them their common name of duck-billed dinosaurs. However, this is now considered to be a bit of a misnomer, considering that the bills are now known to have been covered by a large, keratinous sheath, big enough on the upper snout to cover the lower beak in life. Hadrosaurids are also one of a few dinosaur groups that have evolved the capability of walking on all four limbs, while also being able to locomote, and even run on just their hind limbs alone. Fossil evidence shows that younger individuals of some genera and species mainly walked on two legs, but gradually transitioned to walking on all fours as they grew. These ornithischians have a fossil record that goes as far back as the late Jurassic, evolving from a large clade of ornithopods called Echilopelexia. Early forms like Camptosaurus, Dicotyrodon, and Fukuyosaurus are what would later bring the rise of hadrosauriforms. Aside from standalone basal genera like the sailed Oranosaurus and Morellodon, along with the long-snouted Brightstonius, hadrosauriforms would later bring the rise of Hadrosauroidea, alongside a sister group, the thumb-spiked iguanodontids. The earliest hadrosauroids appeared in the fossil record approximately 130 million years ago, during the Hauterivian stage of the early Cretaceous, showing their humble origins in Western Europe through the taxon Portailsaurus. From there, non-hadrosaurid hadrosauroids began to spread throughout Eurasia, making their way to North America, and later spreading to South America and Antarctica, becoming one of the most diverse and widely spread herbivorous dinosaurs by this time, and bringing the rise of the far more advanced hadrosauromorphs, which would live alongside true hadrosaurids, evolving during the Coniacian-Settonian boundary of the late Cretaceous. Aside from the more basal forms and unknowingly positioned members, Hadrosauridae contains two subfamilies, the bony crested Lambeosaurines and the almost crested Saurolophines. Parasaurolophus specifically resides in the rightfully named Parasaurolophidae tribe of the Cretaceous subgroup, which also contains the more basal Lambeosaurini. Lambeosaurines are by far one of the most widespread groups of true hadrosaurids, as some genera in this subfamily are the first of their kind to spread to North Africa. Other members that reside with Parasaurolophinae are the rather fragmentary genera Andylophus and Ankylomasticator, alongside the more complete Asian Charonosaurus and Mexico's Telatolophus. Interestingly, due to the sheer similarities of anatomical structures, a few paleontologists believe that Charonosaurus could possibly be a potential fit species of Parasaurolophus. Paleontologist Hai Xing originally suggested that the possibility in a 2014 publication. If this is true, Parasaurolophus would not only have its geographic range extended to northernmost China, but its time range would also be extended to the Maastrichtian stage. However, this idea still seems to be under debate, and Charonosaurus is only considered as a possible junior synonym. Overall, hadrosaurs have a rather extensive lineage. While older members went extinct, their descendants kept thriving and adapting to a Cretaceous world that keeps shifting and changing for almost 100 million years. Parasaurolophus is likely the most well-known duck-billed dinosaur of all time, making numerous appearances in pop culture, with some appearances as big as full documentaries while others are mere background cameos. Covering all of the titles that featured the animal in any shape or form would be almost impossible to do, and as such we will only be covering prominent features of this animal for our pop culture segment. With that said, its first on-screen appearance was in the 1940 Disney animated movie titled Fantasia, in the longest segment of the movie The Rite of Spring. In its theatrical debut, Parasaurolophus is seen as one of the many species of dinosaurs feeding on plants before the arrival of a hungry Tyrannosaurus rex. Parasaurolophus' first major appearance would be in the first Land Before Time movie in 1988, and throughout the franchise, Parasaurolophus would appear as a recurring background character and under the classification of a swimmer animal, and at times as a big mouth. It is also worth mentioning that one of the main characters, Ducky, has had quite a bit of controversy in regards to what genus she belongs to. Many of the movie's DVD special features state that she is a young Parasaurolophus, although she has been said frequently by the creators to be either Parasaurolophus, Anatosaurus, or most likely Saurolophus. Over the course of this franchise, Parasaurolophus' popularity would skyrocket, although its next major appearance in another franchise would take it even further. The next major appearance of this animal would take place in the form of the 1993 blockbuster Jurassic Park, with Parasaurolophus variously being shown in the background across many of the films starting with the first one. It would obtain bigger roles in a few following movies, partially in the second film, The Lost World Jurassic Park, along with 2022's Jurassic World Dominion. However, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous also showcased a bioluminescence variant created in secret by Dr. Henry Wu. Alongside the movies, Parasaurolophus also stars in his numerous games including Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, Jurassic Park the Game, Jurassic Park Builder, the 2 Jurassic World Evolution games, and many more. As the Jurassic franchise continues, so does the popularity of all the dinosaurs that star in the films. Dinosaurs including Parasaurolophus, to whom is now more easily recognized for their long and curved crests on the top of their heads. 5 months after the first Jurassic Park film was released, its producing and distributing companies Amblin and Universal will once again feature Parasaurolophus in the family adventure film We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, based off the 1987 children's novel with the same name. The film's Parasaurolophus named Dweeb is a character whose personality is highly based upon his name. Although surprisingly, in the original book, Dweeb the Parasaurolophus was instead a character named Bigon the Apatosaurus. Moving out of 1993 and into 1995, Parasaurolophus makes an appearance in the educational children's show The Magic School Bus, in the episode titled The Busasaurus. Upon traveling back in time, Miss Frizzle class sees a herd of these animals feeding on aquatic plants, along with incorrectly being depicted in the Maastrichtian stage coexisting with Tyrannosaurus rex. 5 years later, Disney finally brings Parasaurolophus back into another movie. 2000's Dinosaur showcases in the beginning of the film getting chased by a Carnotaurus, and later depicting several individuals among the massive herd of migration led by Kron. 8 years later, Parasaurolophus would star in the animated series Dinosaur King as the tertiary protagonist Paris, who was the partner of Zoe Drake. In the following year, Parasaurolophus debuted in the popular 2009 TV show Dinosaur Train, the episode hooting hadrosaurs as the character Perry. After a decade has passed, it would debut in the children's show Gigantosaurus, as one of the main characters named Rocky. Currently, Parasaurolophus' latest TV show or movie appearance was in the 2024 show Ark the Animated Series, as Helena's second tamed animal named Scary. Scary would make many prominent appearances throughout the show and would continue to be featured throughout the series.